Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name's Anna Schmidt. I'm a paranormal clearing specialist, a house healer, and I love educating people about all aspects of spirituality. Today is no different. We are going to be talking about what is self-awareness, how to develop it, and what are some of the benefits for you on your spiritual path, but also in your everyday life. Because when you adopt self-awareness into your everyday life, your spirituality and your self-awareness seem to meld together, and you become more intuitive, and you are just naturally living in this earth reality and connecting with your intuitiveness and your spiritual support network every single day. So let's get into it. What is self-awareness? How can you develop it? So self-awareness has many other names. We can use perception, we can use mindfulness, we can look at observation, we can look at higher consciousness. So self-awareness is just being aware of the self, internally as well as externally. Because quite often we are so focused on the external world around us, home, family, society, social outings, work, is that we forget to look at our inner awareness. When you can combine the two, internally and externally, then you are able to develop more of an understanding of who you are, why you're here, seeing the signs and symptoms of your spiritual support network connecting with you through using confirmation signs in the environment around you, in your dreams, through your thoughts and your perceptions and your interactions with others. So self-awareness is a really important tool to develop if you want to look at expanding your spirituality, using your psychic skills into your everyday life. Because when you join both, you find that you are just intuitively more in tune with everything around you, whether spiritual or in the reality that is around you every day. So when you work on your self-awareness, you are looking at a higher understanding. And to get this higher understanding, like I say in many of my videos, is that if you want to bring something into your life, is that you ask for help from your spiritual support network. Now, some of you may be sitting there rolling your eyes, like, who is this spiritual support network? I generalize it as guides, angels, archangels. It can be all sorts of other spiritual beings, cosmic beings, ascended masters, beings that are part of your understanding. You may have your own beliefs about your higher spiritual support network, but it's asking them to be part of your life. Then you put your focus in your everyday life into looking at where the signs and symptoms are, but not becoming OCD about it. Because sometimes when people start on their spiritual path, is that they go into overload and why is my spirit guide not talking to me? Sometimes we have way too much trauma, drama. Our life is so full of happenings and goings on that we don't have time or energy to see the signs and symptoms of when our awareness is developing and these spiritual beings are contacting us. So it's about finding ways to make your life easier, simplifying, thank you, the word, simplifying your lifestyle, your work lifestyle, your home, your family, your thoughts, your perceptions. What you put out is what you manifest. I'm not going to talk about manifesting today because there's lots of other videos on my channel about self-development. But self-awareness is something that once you put your focus and your intention into it, it naturally starts to happen. And you'll simply think about bringing something into your life, and then it'll show up in a book or a magazine, or a friend will ask you to go to a course, or there'll be something on Facebook, or you're drawn to look at a community notice board. And all of a sudden, what you need is magically in front of you. It's amazing how our spiritual team work with us. So it's about being aware of your outer environment, because that is the reality that we live in. And your guides, angels, archangels, other spiritual supporters are going to use that environment to connect with you. Now, if you're someone that's been on their spiritual path for a while, but you've kind of plateaued and you're like, nothing is happening. I'm meditating for 20 minutes a day, and I'm doing some dowsing every day, and I'm doing my cards every day. Maybe you need to shake it up a little and do something totally different. Because connecting with your spiritual support network is not only about doing those spiritual and psychic development skills. It's about welcoming them into every aspect of your life, whether it be home, family, socially, work, hobbies, entrepreneurships, anything that you've got your interests in. Ask them to be present. And you don't always have to meditate. I mean, I don't meditate a lot anymore, but that's just me personally. It was great when I started. I just don't have time for it now because life is moving so fast. My self-awareness is clued into. I wake up of a morning and a little voice will say to me a particular statement, or I'm getting online to do a reading on Facebook, which I do every morning. And all of a sudden I'll have this voice say to me, there's this particular thing that you can be doing, or I'll see a flash or an image. So your self-awareness is going to develop in the way that you are most connected to your environment. Some people are very visual, some are very auditory, some need to actually do things to get an understanding. That's called kinesthetic. So most people fall into one of those categories. Sometimes you just know stuff and you don't know how you know it. That is your self-awareness already being clued into the universe. So what are some of the ways that you can develop your self-awareness to the next level? Ask your guides to help you. Simple as that. People try and make things way too complicated. I'm about simplifying everything. If you want something from your spiritual support network, don't be afraid to ask. They're there to support us. Sometimes they'll see we can step up to a next level, but we're a little bit like, oh no, I'm not ready. I'm not as developed as my friend Jenny, or that course I was doing told us I can't move on to my next level until I've completed all these activities. If you feel like you're ready, you ask. If your divine spiritual support network deem that you are ready to move on, they will literally start showing you new aspects through your environment that you can interact with, whether it be learning, whether it be people, whether it be practices, techniques, methods that you can utilize. And don't stick to things that you see other people doing. They're just saying to me, our self-awareness development is very individualistic. People say to me, oh, but you're so self-aware. Yeah, but I put a lot of practice into it. Seriously, I've been practicing every single day and aware of what is around me, not in a manic or an OCD way, but just like, oh, there's that blue flash after I had this idea. Oh, so that blue flash is telling me that I'm on the right track. And then I see that blue flash again. I'm like, yep, they're telling me that this is the path that I need to take. I know that when I see sparkling lights or glittering energy in my home, that is high vibrational beings that are present. Talk to them. And you don't have to get down on your knees and pray, unless that's what you want to do. I just talk to them like they're my best friends, like they're family, like there's someone that I really love being around. All right? It is as simple as that. Quite often we put these spiritual beings on such high pedestals that we don't feel that we are worthy of connecting to them. I have detrimental habits just like everybody else. I think negative thoughts. I swear sometimes. I don't always eat good food. I don't always have a high vibrational diet and think loving, beautiful, joyous thoughts. We are human. We are all going to develop at our own pace. And we each have teams of guides that are there to support us. So if you've got friends that are developing at what you see to be a faster pace, that is just where they're at. I'm getting a really strong yes on this. What holds people back from developing their self-awareness is they're too afraid of being judged, because what if I can't be self-aware? Well, no one's going to know if you don't tell them, right? If you're not ready for it yet, no one's going to know, and your spiritual team aren't going to share it with anyone. All right, this spiritual work is very, very personalized. Thank you. They tailor what we need to when we need it. So have some fun with developing your self-awareness. Say to your guides, okay, I'm going to challenge you today. I'm going to put a task out there. When I am on the right path with something that I'm doing, whether it be home, work, out with the kids, doing something as part of your own business or a hobby, when I'm on the right path and I'm developing that skill, please show me a pink light. Okay? Now, if you leave it at that, your pink light may come through a book that you're reading. You may see a pink circle or a pink balloon. You've got to be really specific about the wording that you want, because if you say pink light, it may mean that you're driving around town and there's a pink light, up in one of the shops, and you don't take that as your pink light because you're expecting it to be a pink flash of light in your home. You have to be really specific with your requests about what you want. Be ready for change, because when we start developing our self-awareness, it's not always going to go on a lovely, smooth, wonderful path that we think it's going to take, or we want it to take because we think that is the easier route. Quite often, we have to deal with the tough stuff. So our self-awareness is going to draw us to an emotion, a situation, a person that we may need to deal with in our life, that is blocking us, that is somehow from our previous experiences in this lifetime or a past lifetime. One of those three is blocking us from developing our self-awareness to the next level. So we have to deal with the tough stuff, as I call it. And I'm the same. I'm no different to anybody else. I have as much tough stuff as the next person. But why my self-awareness is really keen, because I've dealt with the tough stuff and I've learned about it. I'm acknowledging it and being honest with myself, because your guides and your angels, archangels, your spiritual team, they know what you've got to deal with, but they ain't gonna do it for you. We actually have to be ready to go, you know what, I'm ready, just bring it on. Bring on whatever it is that I need to remove me from this plateau that I've been on for the last 6 months. I really want to advance my self-awareness in a particular topic, maybe work, home, family, spiritual, psychic development. Be specific, remember, use the words, and say to them, I'm ready. Show me what I need to do. And don't be surprised if it's something tough that you have to deal with to start with. So quite often, the other one is that goes with dealing with the tough stuff is facing your fears. Fears are a real trigger for people, and they keep you small. They keep you in that little box where you feel safe and secure and comfortable, and you don't have to deal with anything. But then you can't advance spiritually. You can't evolve and develop your self-awareness if you don't deal with the tough stuff, which includes challenges, also includes dealing with your fears. So what are the benefits of your self-awareness? I've already outlined some of them, is that you are more aware of what's happening in your life. You're more aware and connected to your spiritual support team. I find that is probably the number one benefit of being self-aware, is that you're connected to your spiritual support network. So through your stronger connection with your intuitive needs, you start to advance in all areas of your life. You find that you take control of your life decisions. There's no more if, but, what if this happens? You just go, no, I'm really aware about how this is going to develop. I am open and ready to deal with any challenges that come forth from this growth that I'm going to go through. Because if we don't deal with the challenges, then we're stuck in that same old patterns that I talked about earlier. So you become more confident when you start working on your self-awareness. you start to integrate your shadow self into your lighter, brighter, happier self. Because we are both light and dark. That is how we are. It's not all fluffy unicorns and rainbows when you do your spiritual work. You have to deal with the tough stuff. So once you integrate that, you are dealing with yourself internally and externally as a whole being. When you are a whole being, that is number 2, is when your self-development can really be kick-started, and the catalyst into developing to a next level is that benefit of being a whole being and just going, yeah, you know what, I do create resentment. I'm using me as an example, always myself as an example. I do create resentment and I do create contempt and conflict within myself. But because I'm aware I do that, I don't do it so much anymore. I found other ways to combat that before it starts. And that is the key with your self-awareness, is to know what your triggers are. Because believe me, we all have triggers, whether it be from your current age or your 20s, your 30s, when you were 10 years old, something happened that has created a perspective or a perception about yourself, and you've carried that in your energy field from the age of 10 right through now until you're in your 50s. All right. If you can clear some of that backlog of the emotional, mental, traumatic buildup, then you can start to develop your self-awareness. And as always, when you want to develop your self-awareness, and with anything that I talk about on my channel, if you feel you need to, see your doctor, see your mental health professional, because they can offer you another level of that holistic whole being approach. They give you the mental health aspect, the medical aspect. You can do some self-work around working on your shadow self. You can also work with a mental health practitioner, looking at trauma, looking at experiences and emotions you need to clear from your life. When you clear the emotional baggage, that is one of the benefits of wanting to do self-development work and wanting to be more self-aware, is that you go, you know what, it no longer serves me. I just heard that in my head. I go around everything the long way. They just said to me, it no longer serves you. Whatever the it is will come down to you personally, where you are in your life and what is going on in your life. But you can say to yourself, this particular situation, this person no longer serves me. So then you look at ways that you can change that situation. And your self-awareness is going to grow on so many levels. And as you are becoming more self-aware, you are raising your vibration. You are changing your energy levels. And people are going to go, I want some of what she's got. So you're actually putting out there that it's okay to change. You may talk to people about this. I talk about this all the time because I find it's really beneficial. If people hear it from someone that just looks like an everyday mum, they go, wow, she can do this, I can do this too. So it's about experiencing it, sharing it, letting other people know that they can develop this self-awareness as well. Because when you develop your self-awareness and connect with your spiritual beings, if you want to develop your creative skills, you ask, it's going to happen. Work skills, interpersonal skills, relationship skills. Self-awareness can be used in all areas of your life. So there you go. I hope I've given you some ideas about things that you can do, some of the benefits, some of the reasons why developing your self-awareness is so important. Just have fun with it. Like I say on my channel all the time, make your spiritual development, your self-awareness development, your mindfulness, your meditation, whatever you're doing to expand yourself and raise your vibration, have fun while you're doing it. When we're having fun, we're learning, and we're not putting boundaries and we're not putting difficulties in our way to stop ourselves. Saboteurs. Thank you. We're not sabotaging ourselves. So when you make it fun, you can't possibly be sabotaging it. Okay, stay safe. Look after each other. I'll be back again next week with either a house healing, paranormal beings, spiritual topic. I look forward to seeing you then.